All right, guys. Excuse me. I got to talk about this. Matter of fact, I got to talk about a lot of different things. I hadn't done a podcast in about, I think, a little over a week. I've been missing it. I've been having or wanting to say so much. And I just, you know how it is when you put a little, what do you call it, a little fizz candy inside of a bottle of a Coke or Pepsi or something like that. And you put it inside of it, and you let it bubble up, and then you shake it, and then it rises out, and just bubbles up real slowly. That's kind of where I'm at right now, because I got a lot to say. So let me pop the cork out. This is DJ Wolf Live. All right, guys. Let me get my drink on right quick. And for those of you who think this alcohol is not, it's actually Crystal Light. I shouldn't be telling you that I'm drinking Crystal Light, but it's just a name. It's a powdered soft drink, but it's good. And it got caffeine in it. Because I missed my coffee. All right. First thing first. Koonye, Crazy, you know what I'm talking about. He was married to Kim, Hot, Freak, you know what I mean. Kim Kardashian. She, I guess she's been saying that they've been trying to get help for Koonye. And he has been having enough of an issues. He got some serious problems, man. He has some serious mental issues. He really do. And supposedly he had a campaign going via Donald Trump. Some campaign that he had campaigning for the 2020 presidential elections. I really think he was interference. Number one, he was never serious about campaigning. He had no agenda. He had no real cause, and he was just cracking up. You know, and I'm like, dude, you need some serious help. You know, he started addressing issues by his wife and aborting the kid and father-in-law, all kind of issues, man. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, because I had no clue what he was talking about, period. At all. I couldn't even tell you what he was really trying to address. In the most botched up so-called presidential campaign I've ever seen. And I don't think he was ever serious anyway. You know. But that's another whole story. I just needed to get that one out the way. I don't understand people, man. There was somebody on YouTube who I saw. I'm actually ready to watch more of his video. We talked about how in our communities there are solutions that has been given to us, but we never take them seriously, or we never bother to look at them, or we just ignore them. That's true. We've had tons of solutions in our communities for decades. One of the things was how to get kids off the streets, you know, through sports and through education and stuff like that, and or getting parents to get more involved and come out to parent-teacher meetings. I remember I went to a lot of my parent-teacher meetings for my son, and before me, my dad used to come out for parent-teacher meetings for me. And in both cases, even when he was coming out there for me and my siblings, there were always mostly mothers. no fathers. Almost no fathers there. There was a thing that came out in the early 1970s called, what was it called? Father's Day or Father's Night, something like that. But it was like a thing they had every Wednesday night at my school. My school was on the same side of the street as where I lived at my apartment. And we used to walk down about really a 2-minute walk, really. Sometimes my dad would just drive over there. And then after we leave from there, we would go down to the nearest restaurant and go home and go to bed. But he would take his Father's Night out. I forgot the official title of it. I used to know it. And it would be fathers going out there mentoring with the kids. Well, a lot of fathers showed up at the time. You know, a lot more fathers than mothers. I know that. And I think we need that. You know, it was a way to get fathers to interact with the children. You know, there's not enough of that. It's not. And I don't give a fuck what anybody say. Kids need their fathers. I was watching Sunday Best. I got 2 stories to tell you about it. Let me get to the Sunday Best one. So this was a young man who was on Sunday Best, 22 years old. Keep that in mind, 22. His mother was pictured on the piece where he talked about his mother finally, and she had died from COVID-19. Very nice little woman, right? So when before he got ready to sing, they put his name up there like they do with all the contestants on the show, all the people who are auditioned for the Sunday Best. Put his name on the show. 22 years old. Occupation, and I lied to you not. Occupation was, quote, stay-at-home dad. Yeah. No joke. If you watch Sunday Best from August 26th, you will actually see that. That was on BET. It said his name, stay-at-home dad, 22. I'm like, bruh, a lot wrong with that. A lot of a hell of a wrong with that, to tell you the truth. First of all, you're 22. Second of all, you're 22, and you list yourself as a stay-at-home dad. That means you have no career, you have no job, you have no real aspirations. I was really bothered by that. A stay-at-home dad. Yes, he did. And I obviously was proud of it. My brother-in-law, I had a brother-in-law one time that who had told me that he considered him a stay-at-home dad. He saw nothing wrong with that. He literally saw nothing wrong with that. Being a stay-at-home dad. He saw nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah. He saw nothing wrong with it. Really get your ass right there. He was a stay-at-home dad. Yeah. A stay-at-home dad. That's what he was. And I'm like, really? A stay-at-home dad? I'm like, you're proud of that? But my brother, I was like, yeah. All right, you know. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got more guys doing that, man. You know, just like if I was a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, dude, you're proud of that? I'm like, man, no, I told her, I said I couldn't do that. I said, the way I was raised, my background, men weren't raised to be stay-at-home dads. Not men. Maybe boys, but not men. No. I totally didn't go along with that at all. Not for a minute. Yeah. That narrative did not fly with me at all. Something about that narrative did not work with me. And in his case, now I don't know about the young boy, but I know the brother-in-law had 4 kids. Okay? 4 kids. Negro talking about he want to be a stay-at-home, talking about he a stay-at-home dad. He consider himself a stay-at-home dad. Really? A stay-at-home dad. I said, well, I'll be damned. What's wrong with black folks? See, this is the problem. You are addressing a narrative that already is being put out there in the public about black men. All right? And for you to want to be a stay-at-home dad, you're trying to do what white folks do, because there are white folks that do that. But they don't have a problem with that because their culture built their history on men standing up for themselves and some standing down. Our cases has always been trying to get us to stand down as men. When I saw that 22-year-old man singing, and he's not a great singer, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't know why they picked him to be one of the top singers, because my wife goes like, he's not even that good a singer. You know, he's going to have problems. He's not going to stay in the competition long. But to sit there and say 22 years old and stay home. Now, if he was like maybe 42, you know, that may be different. Even though my brother was in his 40s, but still, he had 4 kids. That's a totally different story. Well, not really, but I just have a problem with it. He went with my brother-in-law, but or if he was like 62 retired, okay, if he still had, you know, younger kids, I could probably understand that. And his wife was younger and was working. But 22, I'm offended by that. I was 22, had a kid out of wedlock, and I worked my ass off because that's what I was supposed to do. Don't stay at home. That's ridiculous. You know, we already have labels on us, stereotypes as guys that don't want to work, guys who want to get high, smoke weed every day, and all that other bullshit. And you will be a freaking stay-at-home dad. I'm offended by that. I really am. You want to ride into a narrative about us that's been written about us for 400 years, and you want to continue that narrative. I was so pissed. That's a narrative we got to change, folks. You know? Now, I don't know if his mother, his departed mother, would have wanted him or even thought about that was okay. I would hope not. I wouldn't think not. I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't think that she would agree with stuff like that and stay home dad. I don't think any woman should. I don't care if she raised him or not. It's ridiculous. Truly ridiculous. But I think if I was a stay-at-home dad at 22 or even 25, my dad, God rest his soul, would have raked me over the coals. Raked, R-A-K-E, me over the coals for that. He was like, man, he would have shamed me. And you know what? In hindsight, I wouldn't blame him. Men are not supposed to be stay-at-home dads. He didn't say he was unemployed. He didn't say he was between jobs. He didn't even say he had a job. He just said he was staying home dad. I'm not working at all. He chose not to work. He chose to stay home with the kids. That means his little girl is a sugar mama, and he's just a bum. which in essence is what he is, as far as I'm concerned. You chose that. I don't care anybody say you chose to do that. The hell want to be a stamp. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It truly is. It truly is. You know. And actually I was truly offended by it. I don't know, black folks just, I don't know, it's like we settle for less on everything. And I know some personal stories of people who have. And I also know stories of people who has raised kids and they dumb the kids down by calling them all kind of nasty names and talking about you ain't shit and you ain't this and you ain't that. You be just like your mama, you be just like your daddy, or you know. Could you be like questioning the validity of their abilities to even develop to be anything? You know? When you do stuff like that, you're not helping your culture. You're not helping your people when you do it. You're breaking them down. You're demeaning them. You're belittling them. You're making them lose any kind of esteem that they probably once had or had potential to have, and just drop it. Yeah. And you wonder why white people look at us the way they do? Because we don't have the self-esteem to build ourselves and build our families, and we don't do it. We don't do it. We tear each other down. We tear families down. We tear people down. We tear our own people down. Nah, you can't do this. You can't do that. I've heard many people on YouTube, in print media, on television, and in movies where people have been torn down within our own culture. You know, I heard stories from where Tyler Perry was talking about where he said he was going to be a playwright and be a successful actor and mogul and all that. And people doubt him. The people doubt him to even do plays. And he did it anyway. He persevered. He's like, you know what? You're not going to steal my joy. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You know? You can believe me, or you can move on, and I'm going to keep moving and pushing myself towards my goal. Whether you with me or not, whether you're riding or not. Because I was the same way. I went through that mill too. You know? I went through that mill. I ain't going to lie. I did. The belittling and all that put downs and stuff. And even as sometimes an adult, and I still struggle through self-assuredness, of being self-assured of my, abilities sometimes. But I've for the most part grown out of it. I still have the self-doubt sometimes, but I learned to maneuver around it, so to speak. And you have to. You have to. That's the only way you can conquer your self-doubt. Because self-doubt turns into self-pity. Oh, I can't do that. What was me? No. Because at one time it always was like that when I was growing up. And at some point I had friends and stuff where I could talk to and I got out of that mess. Thank God it did, man. Real talk. That's why I try to surround myself with positive people. I don't want to be around no negative people, man. No negative Neds or anything like that, really. Because those are the people who like to keep you down because they're down. They're not, or have never achieved to do anything or attempt to achieve to do anything on their own. And yet, because they never done it and they see you do it, they want to trivialize what you're doing. And some of us allow that just so you can fit in with their crowd. I would rather keep pushing for my own positive agenda and keep moving along with the things I need to do in my life and not worry about what other people say. I would rather be without friends if I ain't got the support system to, move ahead and do the things I need to do in my life, the positive things I need to do. If I got to deal with that, I'll just be without it. As long as I got God by my side, man, I pray every night, do the things I need to do, take care of myself and my family. I don't worry about what anybody thinks. I don't. You can't. Because when you start having doubts about your abilities and worry about what other people think, you have nothing to work with. You really don't. You're going to always have that person or persons who want to always think that, that you're wasting your time trying to achieve your goals. You're going to always have it. Somebody's going to always say something because they didn't see that in themselves and they don't want to see that in you. Trust me what I'm telling you. I know. This is something I know, not what I heard. This is what I know. And people will do that. You gotta just press on. You have to press on. This world's full of people like that. It's absolutely full of people like that. But you can't worry about what people say anymore. It's all about your goals. One of my goals is to still produce music even at my age. But I'm actually leaning towards more like hip-hop, fusion, maybe music, beats as a hip-hop producer, fusion and gospel as an artist. Seriously. It's among the things that and this is my personal goals. My other thing is to have a strong relationship with Christ. I mean, yeah, I do curse. I mean, I don't curse as much as I used to be honest. I don't. At least I try not to. It's a bad habit. It's like if people smoking cigarettes or drinking. It's a bad habit. It's a habit you got to break. But no one's perfect. Only the Lord above is perfect. That's a fact. We are mortals. We make mistakes. We're human. We make mistakes all the time. We're not going to ever be perfect. But you can work to be better. I always call myself a work in progress. But one reason why I mentioned what I said just now is because I have been working to that goal because my wife and I, we take the time to study every morning. Now we can't go directly to our physical church because we do Zoom and then we watch our pastor on YouTube. We actually take more time to study our Bibles and our Sunday school lessons. And I get so much out of it. I get more out of it than I ever have in my life. Now I'm going to tell you, I went back 8 years ago, and I never looked back. One of the things that I used to do and I don't do anymore much is worry about, what the other members going to think. I don't care. People going to say what they're going to say no matter whether you're in church or whether you work or whether you're in school or what have you. That's just how people are. People all have opinions. And they're just like assholes. Everybody got one. You have to look at you and look at your self-worth and be proud of who you are. Be proud of who you are inside you and what made you the person that you are today. If I had to worry about being perfect for everybody I come across, man, I would be their puppet. I wouldn't be me. I'd be somebody's puppet. Okay? In other words, whatever they see there's a flaw in me may not be what I consider a flaw. That's basically what I'm trying to say. People are going to always have a judge notice of you regardless of who you are and what you do. You know? Yes, I will say this. You got to use common sense and have a common right mind and think about the things that you say before you say them, unlike Koonye West. But outside of that, you know, you don't worry about who you are as far as trying to make yourself perfect in other people's eyes. So, with that in mind, this is DJ Wolf. That's all I got. I'm out.